Hello everyone, I'm Diego, and I'm one out of 3 triplet flames who are rainbow star people, and welcome to this YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, please like this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more content like this. Now on to today's video, which is about my journey with gender identity. So, my journey with gender identity has been such a long journey, and even like figuring out what my sexuality was, that took me forever, but I talked about that in a previous YouTube short. I do currently identify as pansexual. It just means I can feel attracted to someone of any gender, so my gender attraction is not limited to just women or just men or just a certain group of genders or just one gender. I am open to dating pretty much someone of any gender, so I can date women, I can date men, I can date transgender people, I can date non-binary people, etc. Anyways, that being said, I go through certain moments in my life where I only want to date a specific gender for whatever reason, but as of lately, I've been open to any gender in terms of dating. For a while, though, I only dated women, but then I kind of was like, oh, well, I'll open it up to men as well, and like non-binary people and transgender people, etc. So yeah, anyways, that being said, that's more about sexuality specifically, but I'm going to talk about gender now because I feel like gender is such an interesting thing. So for the longest time, pretty much until my college years, I identified as a man and as a cisgender man. So I identified with the gender that I was assigned at birth, because I'm assigned male at birth. Anyways, I identified as a cisgender man for such a long time, and then started realizing that I didn't really fit into the stereotypes of what it means to be a man. I am a very emotional person. I'm a highly sensitive person, so I feel emotions pretty strongly. I also am very empathetic and compassionate. I'm very intuitive, I'm very creative. I like talking about feelings because that's important to me. I've learned to let myself feel my emotions rather than suppressing them. And then I started to realize, all of the qualities that I said would fit into a stereotypical woman's kind of qualities, right? So I kind of was like, okay, well, I think I'm probably gender non-binary because I have a lot of qualities that don't really fit into the stereotype of a man and what it means to be a man. So gender non-binary just means that I identified with a gender that falls outside the binary of man or woman. I identified more as gender neutral or neutral. So that started, though, a few years ago where I was like, okay, well, I'm going to identify as gender non-binary and go by just they, them pronouns. And then after a while, I started realizing that identifying just as gender non-binary was hard for me because, first of all, in Spanish, you don't really ever use gender neutral pronouns. You just use él y la pretty much, or él y ella. So you don't really use ella or le, which are gender neutral ways of speaking, but they're not like, I don't know if they're necessarily official gender neutral pronouns, but people can use them, but it's so rarely used in Spanish. So it just felt like, when I identified as gender non-binary, it just felt like my identity was being completely ignored and erased when I was speaking Spanish. And it was annoying me because I was like, well, this doesn't feel very comfortable for me. And then on top of it all, I was feeling like I didn't really fit into the stereotype of gender non-binary either, because like I don't feel comfortable with cross-dressing or dressing in women's clothes. I only feel comfortable wearing men's clothes pretty much. And unisex clothes I feel comfortable wearing as well. And I don't feel like putting on makeup and like doing all of that. Like that's just not my kind of thing. Like I used to try painting my nails a long time ago. This was while I was in the hospital. They had this thing for like if you want to paint your nails, you can paint your nails. And literally whenever I would paint my nails, I would start getting nightmares. Like I just did not like painting my nails. I hated the smell of the acetone. And it just was driving me nuts. So I was like, no, we're not into the whole stereotypical gender non-binary thing. So then after that, I identified as a cisgender man again, because I was fed up with the whole thing of having to fit into a box. Like I just feel like I don't fit into a box very neatly. I don't really fit into the box of man or non-binary super neatly. Like I have qualities about me that don't really fit the stereotypes of either category. And so for a while I identified as a cisgender man, and then I was like, wait, what is this term? So I came across this term called demi-man. And basically all a demi-man is someone who partially identifies as a man and partially identifies as gender neutral or any other gender. So the basic definition of a demi-man is someone who identifies partially as a man and partially as another gender. So basically I ended up identifying as a demi-man pretty recently, about a year ago actually, because that gender identity seemed to fit me best. But I'm now currently more fluid about my gender. Like, I don't care if you think I'm a man. I don't care if you think I'm non-binary. I don't care if you think I'm a demi-man. Like, I'm pretty fluid about it. You could say I'm trigender, which means I identify as a man, as a demi-man, and as gender neutral. Another way of saying gender neutral is neutrois. And basically the terms demi-man and neutrois fall under the non-binary spectrum. But I don't also identify with traits of being a man. Like I'm someone who is also very logical. I like to have a plan. I like to stick to a plan. I like doing sporty things. I like football. I like martial arts. I used to play with action figures when I was little. I also used to play with cars. I liked building things. All of those are associated with being a guy or boyhood or manhood. You know what I'm saying? Like those are all traits associated with the male gender. And so I've just come to realize that, my identity in terms of gender is more fluid. Link from The Legend of Zelda. If you don't know who Link is from The Legend of Zelda, just look him up. Basically, whatever his gender is basically what my gender is. Like, he's designed as a gender neutral character, but also identifies as male. So it's like he's both gender neutral and male at the same time. And goes by he, him pronouns. I go by he and they because I also want to recognize the gender neutral aspect of myself. But I just feel like a lot of what Link from The Legend of Zelda is very similar to me. I even want to get the same like little blue hoop earrings that Link wears. I was actually planning on ordering those because I just feel like a lot of what Link represents gender-wise is what I've been through gender-wise. Like his love interest is Zelda mainly, right? And he's like a hero and stuff, but like he also looks very gender neutral. He has like long hair and like wears ear piercings like I do. I actually have 2 ear piercings, and the reason I have 2 ear piercings is because to me, if you have 2 ear piercings, it represents bisexuality. I know it's kind of a myth a little bit, like if you pierce your right ear, you're gay, and if you pierce your left ear, you're straight, and if you pierce both ears, you're bi or bisexual. I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna go with that because I feel like bisexuality and pansexuality is such an overlooked sexuality, and usually like when you're a guy and you're with a guy, everyone assumes you're gay, but if you're a guy and you're with a girl, everyone assumes you're straight. But it's like, no, like you can be bisexual too, like that exists. Like if you're a guy and you're with a guy and a girl in a triad relationship, I mean, it's very obvious that you're bisexual because you're attracted to both of them. So it's like, you know, very interesting, and I feel like there's a lot of bi erasure where people just like overlook that you're bisexual or act like it doesn't exist. I also identify as pansexual because I'm open to dating any gender, but I just figured I'd mention that. And that's why I have both of my ears pierced to represent that pansexuality or bisexuality. It's funny because last year I only dated women, which is so funny to me because I get so many messages from men and like many more likes on my dating profiles from men. But it's funny to me because like whenever I try to actually follow through with men as of lately, they just end up like not responding, and it's like really frustrating. Whereas with women, sometimes they also don't respond, but I've had a little bit more luck with them last year where like they were very responsive and like would respond to me and get back to me, which is great. But the 2 women that I dated last year, it didn't end up working out for different reasons. The first woman said that we had to part ways, and then the other woman said, well, that she didn't really want to try being vegetarian. And for me, like since I'm raw vegan, I really try to date people who are vegetarian and vegan because of my values and because I value being kind to animals and being compassionate to animals, and like killing animals to me is wrong, and to me it's cruel to animals to kill them in order to eat them. So that's part of why I'm vegan, and that's part of why I became vegetarian as well. But I'm mainly vegan for environmental reasons. I'm also vegan because you know, I want to save water and stuff and like resources, but also because it lowers my carbon footprint. It's good for my health. I'm raw vegan because it's really good for my health and like my mental health, and like I'm no longer hallucinating or having delusions since I am raw vegan, which is great. Anyways, I thought I'd just, you know, talk about my gender identity and stuff, and how my life has been. The reason I haven't posted on YouTube for a while is because I've had so much music to practice lately. Like I have 11 piano songs that I'm currently practicing, as well as 7 trombone pieces. I play piano for 2 choirs at a middle school and high school. And it's really a middle high school because it combines middle and high school together. And then I also play trombone for a community band. So, anyways, yeah, I've been really busy lately with all of that music practice, plus working as a substitute teacher's assistant And then I also last weekend went to a big capoeira event. Capoeira is the Afro-Brazilian martial art I practice. I went to this big capoeira event and it took up the whole weekend, pretty much. So yeah, I've just had a lot going on lately, and that's why I haven't really been posting as much. But also I just recently got accepted to massage school, which is great. So I'm going to start working as a massage therapist once I graduate from massage school, hopefully, and like pass my licensure exam, and do an internship and all of that good stuff that needs to be done in New York State. Yeah, there's a lot of requirements that you need to pass in order to become a massage therapist in New York State. But part of why I want to become a massage therapist is because, you know, it's really healing in terms of like it really helps restore people's health. It helps restore functionality in the body, and like if your body is going through pain and you get a massage, you can release that pain from your body, and all those suppressed emotions that you've been holding on to, you release them through massage. So like for example, the first time I got a massage, I started crying after the massage, because I had all this suppressed sadness in my muscles, and once I released those muscles, I also released the sadness from my muscles. And like if you don't let yourself feel your emotions, they just get stored in your body and then start causing bodily pain. So that's why massage fascinates me in that regard, in terms of releasing emotions from the body. Anyways, yeah, that's kind of what my journey has been in terms of gender identity, and also I just wanted to update you all about what's been going on in my life, and being a little bit vulnerable with all of you, without oversharing, just sharing the basic details about my life and how things have been going for me. I'm not really sure if I've met my triplet flames. I don't think I have, and if I have, I don't recognize them. So hopefully though it'll all come together and we'll be together and stuff. I'm hoping that'll happen soon. If not, later, whenever it ends up happening. I just need to trust the universe and trust divine timing. Anyways, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching this video. Peace out. Much love, and may y'all all be free. Mwah.